Hey everybody, it's Kaylee and I am back with another What Sold from Last Week video. I'm going to be sharing with you some of my highlighted sales from what sold last week on eBay and Poshmark, and I'll also give you a total sales amount of the dollar amount that I sold on both of those platforms. If you're new here, hi, my name is Kaylee. I'm an online reseller. I find used clothing at thrift stores and I flip them online for a profit. My channel is about teaching other people to resell and make money online. All the links that I mentioned in the video are down below in the description. You can click on the link tree down below and it will pop up my eBay and Poshmark closet if you're interested in viewing. Drop a comment down below if you have any questions or you just want to say hi. You can also send me a message over on Instagram. If you like this reseller content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you get notified when I make new videos. Let's jump into today's video. So in total last week, I had a pretty decent week. I'm starting to see my sales climb back up from where they were before the summer slowdown. So hopefully I'll be averaging what I'm hoping is at least 2,000 in gross sales in the next few weeks is what I'm hoping to get back up to. But in total last week, I sold 37 items between two platforms, eBay and Poshmark. I didn't end up selling anything on any of the other platforms. I haven't really been focusing on those. I've really been focusing on eBay and Poshmark. My total gross sales for everything that I sold last week was $1,342.63, with an average sale price of $36.29 and a total cost of goods of $205.30. Everything that I sold was between August 16th through the 22nd. I'm not going to show you everything today, but I am going to show you a few highlighted sales. On eBay, I sold 23 items, on Poshmark 14. eBay's gross sales were $971 and Poshmark was $371, so eBay was significantly busier for me than Poshmark this week. Jumping in, I wanted to show the sale first because typically I am showing you some clothing that I sell, but I do occasionally sell hard goods and then sometimes linens and different home stuff. I do, each time I go to the thrift store, at least take a walkthrough through the hard goods section. To be honest, I don't really know what I'm doing. I just pick up stuff that looks interesting and I try to run comps on it. I did commit at the beginning of this year that I was going to start learning hard goods, so that's the reason I always go to the hard goods section now and at least spend a little bit of time there. So when I was walking through the book area on my way to the clothing rack, I noticed this sitting on top of the shelf. It just looked interesting, and I know that educational books can do really well on eBay. So I picked this up and I just searched the title of the books, and it actually came up on eBay with a really great sell-through rate, and most of them were selling for $60 to $70. I priced mine at $69.99 and it sold I think overnight. It sold within 24 hours for my full asking price. So if you take a glance at the book section and you see anything that looks educational, historical, books are really easy to do comps on because everybody lists them the same way. So definitely worth taking a look at if you don't already check the book section. Another great sale I had was this FUBU men's reversible meaning you could flip it inside out and wear the inside of it to make a different look. This had a retro style and had a lot of spell out of FUBU. As you can see, I made a collage, which I typically do with reversible items, to show all the different ways that you can wear it. This one actually did have quite a bit of staining on the inside and around the neck, which I did mention in the description. This took a little while to sell, but I figured it would because it was going to take the right kind of buyer. This actually went internationally to a buyer for $150, which is an offer that I accepted from them. Next is this pair of jeans by Desigual. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. By looking at it, it kind of just looks like a junior's brand, but the reason I took the time to do comps instead of just passing it over was because of all of the embroidery on the jeans. I thought they were really interesting with the way that they kind of, I guess they were almost like a denim jogger and because embroidery is really popular right now, as well as the thick stitching, I decided that it was worth looking up. And although not all of these jeans sell, the ones that are heavily embroidered seem to be doing well and going for a good price. I had these listed at $48.39 with free shipping, and they did end up selling at full price. I'm not actually sure how I came up with that pricing. I think I must have done a sell similar or something like that, so I'm not exactly sure why they were priced that way. Next are these shorts by Heritage America, and they may look familiar because I believe they were in my what sold video either last week or the week before. The buyer ended up not completing the purchase. They committed to buying it but never paid, so it was showed in a what sold video but was later relisted, and within the same week it resold to another buyer, and these sold for $36, which was an offer that I sent out to watchers. Came across these as well as a bunch of shorts at the thrift store that just had unique design. Whenever I come across something unique, I always check comps to see if it's worth anything, and this brand is definitely a good brand to be on the lookout for. It's called Heritage America. Next is a brand that can be good in both men's and women's jeans. These ones in particular are a pair of men's jeans by the brand A.G. Adriano Goldschmied, which I don't normally come across men's jeans. I'm usually coming across for women's jeans, so this was a nice surprise to find. From what I saw, the Protégé jeans did pretty well. I had these listed at $38.39. I must have been running a sale. I think that's what happened. I must have done a markdown. I'm not sure how these prices came to be, but I sent out offers to watchers and they ended up selling for $34.55. So if you come across this brand, definitely worth taking a look at. Just make sure you look at the style name to make sure it is a desirable one. Next is the brand Cut from the Cloth, which is kind of similar to the jeans I just showed you, where I don't buy everything in this brand, but I always look up the style name and see if it's worth picking up. The Catherine Boyfriend jeans, in particular in plus sizes, were doing really well. So sizes are something I do search for if it is a plus size in a brand that is kind of hit or miss. Sometimes I'll even search the size when I'm doing comps. These ones ended up selling for $38.39 with free shipping. This is a top, a tunic top by Lori Goldstein, which is a brand sold on QVC, and this is honestly a bread and butter for me. I know a lot of people don't like picking this brand up because they think it sits, but I find if you price it right and it's a substantial piece like her tunic tops with a little bit of detail like you can see this layered lace has, I think it is worth picking up, and for me it sells pretty consistently. These ones I sold for $26.10 with free shipping. This next dress is by the brand Matilda Jane. They sell both kids and women's clothing, I think mainly mix and match pieces. Here is the tag. This dress in particular was actually worn by Joanna Gaines, if you guys watch that house flipping show, and I actually on Poshmark put a picture of Joanna Gaines wearing it, and I thought it would end up selling on Poshmark for that reason. I didn't put that picture on eBay because they're really strict about the stock photos and different pictures of it not being your actual item, so I didn't want to risk it on this, but they ended up selling on eBay, which was a nice surprise. This brand usually sells pretty comfy clothing. I really like the space dye on this one, and it also had pockets. In general, in women's clothing, I usually pick up this brand as far as dresses go. This one sold for my full asking price, $24.99, and the buyer did pay shipping. Next is a top by the brand Akemi & Ken, which is sold at Anthropologie, and this one in particular I thought was cute because of its braided details and its unique mix and match prints. This sold on an offer that I sent out to watchers for $26.09, and I did include free shipping on this one. Next is this dress by Lane Bryant. I actually paid a little bit up for this dress, but I knew that it would flip quickly, which is why I went ahead and picked it up. This sold for $29.99. I think I paid close to $9 for it, but again, I knew it was going to flip very, very quickly. Lane Bryant is just a great dress, or a great brand in general, but in particular, this was a really modern style with the army green, the cinch waist, the pleating, the pockets, the fact that it was a midi length dress. Just had a lot of things going for it. So like I said, I knew that it would flip quickly, and I really love picking up modern plus size pieces. This one sold for my full asking price, $29.99. I really love picking up this brand as well. This is Eileen Fisher. Now, I'm a lot more careful with Eileen Fisher than I used to be. I used to pick up everything by this brand, but I no longer do that, and I really focus on modern pieces, something that somebody could be looking for today. This looked like a really comfortable, lightweight dress. It had front pockets and kind of had that minimalist style. This one was also super soft. This one did not take long to sell at all, and it ended up selling for my full asking price, $39.99. This is another bread and butter brand for me. This is the brand 7, which is very, very hit or miss. I think I got these for pretty cheap, which is why I picked them up. But in general, if they've got that thick stitching and they look like a more modern style, I think that this brand can do well in the men's department. And as you can see, these were a more modern style. Had these listed for $24.99, but they did end up selling on offers that I sent out for a discount, and they sold for $22.49. This is a vintage skirt that I picked up solely because it was denim and had some really unique asymmetrical fringe details, and it also had that branding on the back. Whenever you see a brand that brands itself on the outside of the garments or purses or shoes, chances are it is probably a nicer brand if you're not familiar with it, and I always recommend looking up comps. So I did do comps for this, but I don't think that this brand came up, but I knew that it would still sell based on the key factors and how unique it was. I just really can't pass up anything unique or weird, something in me, but some of my best flips have been brands that I didn't know and something interesting or weird. This one sold for full price at $29.99, and the reason I think it sold for that much was because it was a size 20, which is a plus size. This is another one of my favorite brands to find in men's jeans. This is the brand Roll, and these ones went for $29.99, and I can usually get between $30 and $35 for these, sometimes a little more depending on the style and the condition of the jeans. This one in particular had a few spots on it, so that is why I listed it at this price. Another pair of jeans that sold on eBay were these women's Jones New York jeans. Jones New York is definitely not a brand that I often pick up, but I picked these one up because they were the Madison skinny crop, which is what I would consider to be a more modern style. Crop jeans are really in, skinny jeans are really in, but I picked them up mainly for this delicate floral embroidery at the bottom, which I thought was really on trend. These ones did not take very long to sell. They sold within the same month I listed them for $24.99, which was my full asking price. So sometimes it's not about the brand, sometimes it is about the style for me. This is a top by Madewell, and I think it was an older piece, but I got it because it was 100% silk. I like the stripe detail and the ruffle, and it had a break at the waist. In general, higher end materials paired with a well-known brand is almost a no-brainer for me, regardless of style. This one in particular sold at full price with free shipping for $28. Last item on eBay I wanted to show you was this pair of Marmot shorts, which I wanted to show you this because this brand is going to be really popular in fall and winter, which are quickly approaching, and they sell mainly outdoorsy kind of stuff. I really love picking up their jackets, and some of them can be worth quite a bit. So I really wanted to make sure and show you this brand tag because coming into fall and winter, this is a brand I would definitely look out for. I also pick up different pieces by them in summer pieces as well. As you can see, I picked up these pair of shorts and they sold for $24.99 with free shipping. Moving on over to Poshmark, I sold this Zara tweed houndstooth jacket. This one was new with tag. I've been sitting on it for a little while, but I picked it up because it was a more modern style. I love houndstooth print, and it was a size extra extra large, which is a pretty good size to find in Zara. Usually I'm only finding small and extra small, so for me this was a great find. You can see I had a lot of love on Poshmark for this, but I also had a lot of interested buyers on all the platforms this was listed on. It ended up selling for $70, which I thought was a great flip. This is a dress by the brand Horny Toad, and this brand actually changed their name to Toad & Co. for probably obvious reasons, but whenever I come across the older brand label, I still pick it up because there is quite a following for it. This one was a pretty modern dress. I think they make somewhat of modest pieces and they look very neutral. This one had cap sleeves and a little bit of ruching, but in general, I'd say both Horny Toad and Toad & Co. are good bread and butter brands to look for, and they flip relatively quickly. This one sold for $26. This is an ASOS Curve jacket. I've actually sold quite a few jackets and blazers by ASOS Curve, and it seems to be really, really popular. It flips really quickly for me. This one I really liked because it is a plus size piece and it's got an asymmetric zip and mixed patterns of lace, which I thought was really interesting. This did not take long to sell at all, and it ended up selling for $32. Another plus size piece, this is by Torrid, which is another brand that I love picking up. These were size 18 shorts, and the color of these was taupe, and I find taupe to be a pretty desirable color for all sizes. These sold for $24. This is a black unbranded Western leather belt. I pick up a lot of belts, especially ones with Western details, regardless of brand. Brand doesn't really matter for me, and oftentimes there isn't even a brand on the belts, but something that I do look for is that it does state that it's made of genuine leather, and I look for little interesting details, and bonus if it does have the size, but oftentimes it doesn't, and I just measure it. This one flipped for $25. And last but not least is this Lululemon men's shirt. A lot of people don't know that Lululemon even sells men's pieces, so keep an eye out at your thrift store. If you think something looks a bit oversized, it might be a men's piece. The size of this one was on the inside of the bottom hem, so this was a size medium. And honestly, I don't come across men's Lululemon very often, but when I do, it flips within days. This one sold for $35.
Alright guys, that is it for what sold last week. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Drop a comment down below. Let me know how your sales are going. Are they going up from the summer slowdown? I hope that they are. I think that my sales are going to continue to grow, and I'm really preparing for Q4 because I feel like it's going to be crazy with everybody shopping online. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.